Okay, we're now recording. So today's topic, taking the pain out of promotion. And it's one of the biggest things is, as I go through the week, I have so many questions people ask me. And one of them was, oh, there's so much to do in marketing. I don't want to do it. There's just tons of stuff going on. So one of my components is pick one thing and take that one thing and try and do a really good job with it. So my last advice component was to talk to a fellow who's running a new website for teachers to build his Twitter followers and to automate it instead of just searching, going through people's lists, finding names and connecting with them one at a time. It was just like a real pain for him. He managed to build up to 500 followers, and it took him since July. So July, 6 months to get 500 followers.
Manual way.
The manual way, one at a time, drip, drip, drip. And just going through lists. And so I say, okay, time to automate it a little bit. It doesn't mean 100% automation, but taking the pain out of promotion really means you're taking a lot of the grunt work out of it and just making it easier on yourself. So one of the things I had him do was to go to crowdfire.app. And I'm just going to put it in the message thing here. Just 1 second. Crowdfire.app.com. Crowd, make sure I spell it correctly.
Crowdfireapp.com.
Crowdfireapp.com. Yeah. And what you can do there's a paid version of everything and there's a free version. So you just pick up on the free version. But then you can send out, when somebody follows you, you can automate the direct message that goes to them. So that's one of the first steps. So most people say, hi, thanks for following me. Well, so what? What you have to be able to do is say, hey, thanks for the follow. Get my free ebook at, and then, take it from there. You can send them to a specific link. I know with mine, I send them to my particular website, or if I'm working with Author Success Guild, I send them to the Author Success Guild Facebook page or one of the downloadables, taking it from there. So, there's just that little automation piece, and what a difference that makes, because now all of a sudden you're not, trying to, somebody followed me, I'm going to send them a message.
And you have to retype it every time.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to remember, what was that link I wanted to send them to?
Right. And then you got to go find the link and stick it in there.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's automated, and it's easy because then you can go back and edit it, especially if you want to send them to a different page at a different time. So that was kind of one of those really key pieces. And he was so excited about it because now he doesn't have to keep typing it in. Now, Crowdfire app was just one of the places I sent him. And that was just basically to get the automated response. But in that app, you can do a number of things. So you can unfollow people if they're not following you back. You can remove people that are inactive. But in the free version, you're kind of limited to 100 unfollows and 25 follows. So it's not a lot. So then I directed him to another one. And this is called...
I just want to interject there, Bet. It's not a lot. But if you don't have a lot of time, you can actually accomplish a lot in a very short time.
Yeah, even if it's 100.
Yeah,
even if it's 100, every day, 100. And that's the unfollows, but you can only follow 25. So that it's 25 is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But you can go to this other site, and this is
You just lost your volume.
I lost my volume?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't. I guess I just lost Bet.
Okay. I'll keep talking. So I now send them to another one called Unfollow. I should type it in properly.
Oh, there we go.
So HTTP. I'll put the unfollowerstats.com. Now this is an interesting one.
I use that one.
I use that one extensively because here's what happens. It gives you something along the side, and it says, okay, inactive followers. So if you click on the inactive followers, you can see all the people that haven't posted a darn thing for more than 7 days.
Yeah.
And it does it in reverse order. So if my first person hasn't posted in 1,000 days, it's unlikely they're going to be a good market for me because they're not going on Twitter in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I unfollow all of those. So that, you just keep unfollow. But you don't want to unfollow too many because then you got to follow more. So I usually say, okay, I'm going to limit myself to a couple hundred in a day. So I'll unfollow a couple hundred. But then I want to be able to go back into Twitter and find the right people to follow. Well, I just stay on unfollower stats. And I pick, say, someone that has a list of people that would be ideal to buy my materials. So if I find one that's, I'll just use like Publishers Weekly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that want to write or are writing go to Publishers Weekly. So I just type in at Publishers Weekly or whatever handle they have in this component, and then it lists everybody that follows them. Now I can just go follow, or I can go scan the list and just follow the ones I want to follow.
Okay, Beth, is that in the unfollower stats?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Unfollower stats, yeah. There's a very convenient way to centralize it too. I just stay there. Just log into Twitter. It logs in through your account. And then you might have to go into Twitter first to find someone's handle because it may not match. So in unfollower stats, there's an area that says copy followers following. And inside that, you'd enter the handle, the actual real Twitter name of the person, not like a keyword. So their actual Twitter. So I actually go into Twitter and I kind of find them. I do a quick search, say in a market. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, there's their name. Oh, they've got 3,800 followers. Okay, it's pretty active. Then I'll go and find those followers back in the Twitter follower stats, the other platform, and then just plug it in there. And like Beth says, you just go along and handpick the ones you want to follow, which is sort of what I do. So I basically might spend 15 minutes and I'll go through and follow 100, 150, 200, and just leave it at that, and then go back and unfollow every week the ones that are just clearly not active or obviously not even checking or don't want to follow, and that's fine. But then you can kind of balance it out. I think that's my thought about this whole process of automating things like this, is that it takes so much time and it's tedious and it kind of burns you out. For me, it does. Doing little things, tedious, and you're not excited about it. You want to get more out of each action. By automating it, just takes the stress out because it's something you can burn your time out, and then you don't want to do it the next time. And if you don't want to do it the next time, you certainly don't want to do it the next time. It's like one of those things chips away at you. So having automation is the key, absolute key to this kind of simple level promotion. Yeah,
and with unfollower stats, I'm just going to turn my head a bit because I'm going to read it. You can figure out who your unfollowers are, your followers, so you can follow the people following the followers with it. You don't even have to go onto Twitter. Mm-hmm. And the best part is it gives you a long list, and you just go follow. Whereas you go into Twitter to try and do the same thing, it's a little tougher.
Slower.
Yeah, it's a lot slower. So I go in here 10, 15 minutes maximum. Then I can just sort of automate. And I'm automated at that point too. So it just makes it a little easier.
It actually reminded me of something else, Beth, that's linked into the conversation of automation. I'm big on leverage because having been online for so many years, it's like, how can I do one thing that'll do 4 or 5? And it may take a while to think it through and set it up. But once it's set up, you're not constantly doing these 5 things all the time. You just do one. So in our case with Author Success Guild, we like to run things from the blog. So the blog spreads out to all the social media channels on an automated way. So there's plugins all over. For example, one's called Next Scripts, and it'll just automatically post your blog post to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, StumbleUpon, Delicious, Dig. The list goes on. As many social media accounts as you have. That way you stick in the blog. I'm sure there's Hootsuite. There's that TweeterDeck, or I can't remember I might be saying it wrong, but there's so many different platforms you can go log in to achieve it. But it's really trying to achieve the same thing. And I'm a believer in getting the traffic to your blog, because that's where you're trying to get some keywords. You want that site to get established online. So if that's Grand Central and it's set up to automate all your communication from the blog, you just go there. Facebook and all your social media channels are taken care of just by going to your blog in the morning.
Yeah, so
Twitter stuff. So
next scripts. Maybe you can put that into the comments section. I don't
Well,
want
it's
to
one
add one other one that has kind of a free side of it, but you can also pay it, and it's called Post Planner. This is automating stuff as well. So that is the link to Post Planner. That's the link they gave me, so I just use it. Post Planner will allow you to create a schedule for all your posts, whether it's a quote, a text, a graphic, and it's also linked into Canva if you quickly need to create your own graphic. But it picks up the latest news stories, and you can just plan out your posts for a couple of months, which is really cool because you just plan them, and then you can take a breather, and then you can come in and customize and throw in a couple here and there of something immediate. But what it allows you to do is be out there and active without having to write anything. So the biggest problem I find with some of the promotion is, oh gosh, I got to write 6 blog articles this week, and I'm not in the blog article writing mood today or tomorrow. And then that happens. I mean, being a writer, I may be playing with another component. Like Wendy and I are putting together the book marketing manual or Bible or whatever we're going to call it. So we're working on that. You quite often don't have time to write a blog article, but something newsworthy comes up. But if you see it in Post Planner, you can just push it out and you're not writing anything. And you can take advantage of trends. You can take advantage of quotes that are related. You can put in your own keyword and it'll come up with news items that just fit with that keyword. So that automates it a little further.
I think one of the things that this is really useful for too, Bet, is that, like you say, if you're not in the article writing mood or blogging mood and whatever, is that we all accomplish more if we focus more. Yes. And so many of these little things, they pop up and they grab your focus. And, I just heard something this morning. It says, it takes 11 minutes to get your focus back to where it was. Wow. So if you've got all this stuff going on and you're thinking, I've got to go on Facebook, I got to go here, I got to go there, I got to tweet regularly and, do all this stuff kind of all day, your focus is all over the place. And if you're trying to write a book, that's just deadly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't work that way. So if you can take and just say, okay, I'm going to do a half an hour every morning. I'm going to set these things up. I'm going to do, like you said, Wade, I'm going to leverage my time in such a way that I'm not going to be constantly distracted by things. And you can just do it all, set it up. It does itself once it's set up, and then you can go back to writing.
Yeah, the sense of accomplishment is the other thing. You get the feeling, okay, I'm actually making progress. When you're doing 20 things, it's hard to get that feeling. It actually kind of, you wonder, is any one really better than the other? Then you go, well, by process of elimination, maybe I won't do this one. This is one I kind of like. And that's what we do. We're human beings. We want to enjoy some of the action. So half of them get tossed out. That may be really good. So if you can automate them, you take that stress away and just 1/2 hour. It's all I've got, 1/2 hour. I know I did it, and get momentum each day, as opposed to like you said, when you get scattered, and I like to call it white noise. There's just noise just pulling you on. You don't even know if it's getting any traction. So you kind of.
I call it when you get into that state where your mind is sort of everywhere. I call it the blur.
Yeah.
Like everything's just a blur then, and you have no focus at all. You have no direction, and you can't really move anything forward because it's just
Yeah, and promotion, the biggest thing is, as an author, I don't want to think about promotion as much. I know I have to do it, and if it's a lot of manual labor, I'm going to run from it most of the time. Or, if I schedule it in, it's like, going January 1st, getting to the gym, and then after about 10 or 12 days, to heck with the gym. I'm moving on to something else. Yeah, exactly. And I was reading a book by, I'm going to say who it is here, Michael Michalowicz. It's called The Pumpkin Plan. Have you read this one?
I haven't read that one, but I've read some of his other stuff.
Yeah, he's got quite a few. And The Pumpkin Plan is just like anything. You want to focus on growing the biggest pumpkin. And you want to get rid of all the little rotten pumpkins and all the other things that get in your way, but you want to focus on this big pumpkin and how to grow it and how to make it. And promotion is part of growing this pumpkin, so you're getting your book sales and you're worrying about stuff like that. However, there's a lot of what I call the grunt work that has to happen. Now, is there a way you can get the grunt work done? A, I call it automation. B, is there someone who would do it for you for very little money? So there's that option as well. I mean, you don't have to do everything yourself. Do what you do well, but you still have to manage your business, because as a writer, you are in business. But how do you do that? You can get all these free things and get yourself semi-automated, but you still have that pain of, I got to do it. Now, I know some virtual assistants can be very expensive, but you can also find other people. I've used Fiverr on occasion to get some of this stuff done, and that's worked out quite well. Well, once you get a system going,
little one-off jobs. If you have little one-off jobs, you can put them out to Fiverr. And what I've done in the past is I've tried somebody, and if I like his or her work, then I'll go looking for that person again, because you get to, it's like your own private outsourcing person, but the cost is low, and you just use them when you need them. You don't have to do a contract or anything, but I just go back to the same person who I already know is going to do a good job for me.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the one-off things, because when you're doing promotion, there are a lot of those one-off things. You know, a lot of people will use them for logo design or that type of thing, which may or may not work out as well as you had planned, but at least you're only paying $5 for what you want to get. But a number of them will promote your book out to a number of lists. And if you don't want to do the promotion to the number of lists, you just send them the details and away they go. I know places like Romance Only Reads, they'll go out and they'll promote for a very low cost. So if you're in the romance genre, you can go there, and I think they have a gig on Fiverr for $5, and then their website has, you know, $5, $10, $20. It's really inexpensive. So those are the things you have to think about, because then you're not doing the promotion. They're doing it for you.
See, I heard someone, I think it was
quick and easy to put it, just to get it started. It's quick and easy.
You know, there's I've used a lot of Fiverr for many things. I've learned from, I think it was Chris Ducker. Anyways, he teaches this course on outsourcing, virtual assistants, and how he transformed his business when he shifted his thinking from doing it himself. And he was, you know, like doing 6 figures, doing good, but he goes, I was working 14 hours a day, so I wasn't doing good. I had no life. I was doing it all. And until he realized, he set some goals. But he had the distinction that stuck with me is he talks about, if you're going to hire virtual assistants, or that's the key one, is you hire for the role, not the task. And it took me a while to understand it. But to really get it, so when you go to Fiverr and you're doing the hiring, you're doing it for the task. You're hiring for a task.
Yeah,
and that, much like automation of work, takes a lot of time. You got to follow up. You got to contact them. Oh, I don't like it. You send it back. Well, you have 10 of those going. Trust me, it takes some time up. So a virtual assistant is someone who kind of manages your life. And I would recommend this to every author. Start thinking that way now. First, you're a writer, and that's all you see is writing. Well, then you go to another level. I got to promote it, and I've got to sell it. But maybe I don't want to do those things. And as we're talking today, automation, you can get a virtual assistant for relatively inexpensive. And even if it has a cost, it is a time saver. Your inspiration, your momentum, your belief, and your dreams stay high. When you don't, and you know you got to promote, and you're not promoting, it chips away at your dreams. So when someone says it's expensive, I would challenge that. I'd say it's expensive not to do it, because the real cost is your emotional relationship to your goals. And if you lose those, what's $300 a month to a virtual assistant who's going to take care of all the little tasks that you hate to do? And then you get more motivated. You go, I have to hit a goal now because I'm spending this money. I got to sell some books, which is a great motivator, as opposed to, well, I don't want to do that. I don't like it. I'm a writer. Promotion, that's not for me. I don't really. And then you chip, 6 months goes by and you're not really applying anything. So that's really what Authors Success School is all about. We've sort of compiled a list of tools and resources we've all used over the years and teach it so that you sequentially you can learn and take a bite-sized piece each day and go on with what you love writing. That's really our whole model, is to create that environment that other authors like us can go to and feel like they've got a resource center to help them move forward.
And I think
so yeah, I would recommend
that. The title of today's talk is Taking the Pain Out of Promotion. And I know lots of authors who go, marketing, oh, horrors, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we at Author Success Guild, together, we've put together such great programs to basically take the pain out of promotion. It's not going to be difficult and horrible and to make your stomach hurt and all those kind of things.
Yeah, it takes like some of the tips we gave at the beginning of this blab, just talking about what to do with Twitter to make it easy and more automated. There's stuff like that. There's stuff on all kinds of social media, but there's all kinds of other stuff on, you know, making a good plan and implementing it. So you're not paying the $300, $500, $700, $1,000 to a publicist or somewhere else. You're able to contain your costs. Hey, I paid $5,000 for a publicist, and it was a 3-month contract. I got a lot of exposure and I got a lot of book sales, but then my net was, you know, a lot smaller than I would like to have been. And I probably could have done it myself, but I probably could have found a better way to do it than spending that kind of money. So your virtual assistant is very inexpensive compared to a publicist, which is a lot better choice.
Well, really, Beth, isn't that kind of what you've done in some of the lessons, the Captivate lessons we created in Author Success are kind of like that. They've taken that whole thing of all the money you spent and said, you know, hey, if you just did this for this small money and had a direct plan, you could do it yourself with like 15, 20 minutes a day, as opposed to, yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. And that's what we try to do. And as we come across new tools, like we talked about unfollower stats, we talked about, there's another one that's really cool that automatically tweets 5 times a day for you now. It used to be like 8 or 10. It's called Tweet Jukebox, and I'll put it in here.
Interesting. I hadn't heard about that one.
Tweetjukebox.com.
Yeah, I started using it.
Yeah, and you know, there's a free and a paid.
Yeah, they put stuff on there for me, and I'm like, I don't remember putting that on there, but when I realized what was happening, people are liking and sharing and whatever, and I didn't even have to do any of the work.
That's cool. That's a good feeling, because you feel like, okay, something's happening, you know, and you're doing actions that feel like, okay, things are happening. That's where you get momentum, and the fear, that sort of resistance we have to marketing when we're authors dissolves, and you find it's fun because it's connected to the best result of all, which is a book sale.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. Between Post Planner, Tweet Jukebox, anything you do with Hootsuite, your Crowdfire app, you know, you just add these little things in. You don't have to do any. Once you sign up with Tweet Jukebox, you don't have to do anything else. They're sending out quotes, which is fine. And then people do make comments on the quotes because I see them coming through. It's just one of those little automatic things that kind of happen. Post Planner, you have to think about it a little bit, but you can schedule it way out. So now you're automated there. Crowdfire app, you're automated in the fact that you've got your automated direct message that goes out. But you still have to go into those applications like Twitter or Facebook and respond to people that respond back to you. And there's the big thing. There's, you know, you can build that following. But if you're not interacting or forming that relationship with your readers, you're not going to go anywhere. So direct messaging, really a key. I talked a little earlier about this fellow. I gave him an hour of my time to get him going on Twitter. He came from a direct message on Twitter. I went and looked at his site and what he was doing. I really liked it. Asked him if he wanted some help. I wouldn't charge him for it. And then the relationship starts. And now we're emailing back and forth and how we can do business together. So it all comes from, it's the follow-up. I hate to say it to everybody. You can take the pain out of all the promotion side of it, but if you're not following up and making those relationships work, it's not going to happen. Wendy, you're really good at forming those relationships and working with people that way.
And actually, it makes it all more fun. You know, when you actually start knowing people, it just makes it all more fun. It doesn't seem like an onerous job that you have to do, because you actually get to know people. And I mean, I've got people that I work with that I met on Facebook. How did we meet? We both like the beach, you know?
Yeah.
And we connected that way. And it's just really a fun way to do it. And it's to me, it's using social media to the best of the ability, because it is social.
Absolutely.
And if you think of it as being a social situation, you know, you're at a party. I was just at a party a few days ago for my grandnephew's first birthday, and met a bunch of people I've never met before. Well, now I know people, and they're like, "Oh, I've seen you before," and you know, those kind of things happen even virtually. That you know, you make comments and whatever. You don't know how that works, but it builds your tribe, I guess you could say, and it's all good. It's all good.
Authors can kind of get stuck in hiding behind the computer or their pen and not really connect with the hearts of others. You really just imagine you're buying something. Don't you really enjoy the feeling of feeling that you're connected to the person that's sharing the information with? There's feels like, oh, I know that person. It's kind of, I know the style, and yeah, into their writing, you get to learn about them. So the sale becomes secondary. If you, that's why the social platform really leans on the social interaction, and the sale's just a byproduct of that communication, as opposed to, if you saw a post that's just, here, buy my book, what do? Next.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that. But if there's an emotional relationship or a friendship you've established that you feel, then clearly that's a definite step up in the relationship to allow it to happen.
Yeah. Another part, and the last point we'll make, is taking the pain out of the promotion is doing exactly what we're doing right here, is a blab. And this is how people get to know you. I've formed a couple of relationships with people that have come on my blab, or I've gone on theirs. And I ended up buying the Pumpkin Plan because Mike Michalowicz was being interviewed on a blab, and there was only 3 of us on the blab at the time. So I got to converse with him, even though it was just through the question side of it. Sure. I saw a face, we interacted, what he was all about, and I learned a little more about him. So, get on blabs, become a guest on a blab. And a lot of people don't seek out places where they can be a guest on blabs. They haven't got that far with this technology. So any last words?
Yeah, I was going to say another thing too is you can often get on radio shows. My partner and I do creativecaravanroadshow.com, which you can put in there if you want. But and we interview sweet romance authors, and all you have to do is contact us. We're happy to have a guest, and it's fun to talk to people, and we've had lots of people as our guests and who found it really valuable. But if nobody asks.
Yeah, you're not on there. So it's creativecaravanroadshow.com?
Yeah.
Okay. It's in.
Yeah, for anyone who wants more tips along these lines, we do the blab each week, Monday at 10 Pacific time. Generally speaking, it's going to be on, unless for some reason we'd announce it on Facebook if it wasn't going to happen. But we have a lot of resources at Author Success Skills. So if you're watching a replay of this, or you happen to be seeing it on YouTube, just look in the description below. There'll be links and information for those who want to explore it a little further and take even a little more pain out of that promotion and enjoy the process of writing and getting sales.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.